Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Stream On. I'm Jim Williams, your host. Brought to you by our new sponsor, Ford. That's right, Ford and the brand new 2021 Bronco. Well, I'll tell you what, we have an amazing show that Sundance Now is going to be dropping. It is an Australian psycho thriller, and you know here that we're big fans of Australian TV. 800 words, of course, the wonderful and amazing Heart Guy, which was a lot of fun. And of course, big fan of A Place to Call Home. Well, in keeping with those outstanding, well-acted, well-produced shows, the Australian psycho thriller The Secrets That She Keeps boasts an all-star cast. Headed up by Laura Carmichael. We all know her as Lady Edith from Dowton Abby, a friend of the show. We also know rising Australian star Jessica de Gouw. She, of course, from The Crown and from Arrow, which big CW hit. And these two women couldn't be more different if you just plucked them out of a lineup. Never met each other, but they both are pregnant. And they meet, of all places, in a supermarket outside of Sydney. Now, Agatha, who's played by Carmichael, is a loner, living just above the poverty line, working as a shelf stacker in that grocery store. She's an eclectic woman and basically pinning all of her hopes and dreams on a much longed for miracle baby. Yet, the father of her unborn child is a sailor on active duty and remains mixed about what to do with her condition. Now, meanwhile, Meghan, of course, that's Jessica, is a sophisticated mother of two who uses her website to basically reframe her imperfect life into a much glossier and more aspirational existence. Now, despite posting two enthusiastic blogs about her pregnancy to her avid followers, including Agatha, behind closed doors, she is not happy. And a third baby is putting a lot of pressure on her strained marriage with a fantastic young television sports reporter played by our guest today, Michael Dorman. Now, Mike, I gotta say, this is a tour de force of a cast with two phenomenal women. Let's talk about The Secrets That She Keeps, getting ready to drop on Sundance on Thursday.
You know, I love the female aspect in it, and I love I'm good friends with the directors, both directors, Catherine and Jen, and with Sarah. I hadn't actually met Jessica Gouw, but what a beautiful, beautiful human she is, as is, Laura. My character, I felt, was like sort of the middle ground. Like, he kind of was that type of person that was envious of what other people had, which is a true line in the show in its entirety. Mm-hmm. But he's kind of stagnated himself with the choices that he's made. So he's not really doing anything. And it was kind of fun to play a character that, although they are pivotal, he didn't really do enough. There's so many flaws in him that when you watch the series, you're kind of like, what are you doing, man? Come on, do something. Like, doing nothing doesn't work. Do something,
I noticed. I noticed that myself a couple of times. I'm going, dude, you've got an opportunity here. Take it.
Come on, man. But like, for me, it speaks about how we can be disabled through guilt.
Right.
Or through not feeling good enough.
Right.
Or, he's got his skeletons in his closet, right. and that's kind of that kind of leaves him in a place where he's inept. He's not stepping up to the plate. And I feel like, for anyone, it takes honesty or truth for us to actually really step up to whatever plate we need to step on. And he's just not doing it. So it was fun to play a character that had those flaws, and then you see the way that they unravel. And his greatest triumph is that everything's exposed. It's almost freed him. It's freeing for him. And then you look at the character, like his wife, and she's still sitting there harboring those secrets at the end. Not to give too much away, but.
Well, yeah, we don't want to give too many spoilers.
I don't want to dig into it.
Right, but the thing is, as you say, there's an old saying that you have paralysis through analysis, and
right.
It's one of those things where the more you think about it, and the less you're talking about it, the less you're doing about it. So, when you've got the job as a sportscaster, and it's a good life and all that, but there's so many layers to the show that, and so many twists and turns that it's never boring.
Yeah, everyone's got something juicy. All the characters. And like, I just love that theme of them being envious of something that's just not real. Our perception of what our neighbor has is so different from what's truthful. And then how does that affect us, and how do we act according to that? When you look at someone like Jack, from the outside, it looks like he well-known sports presenter. He's, living an affluent lifestyle. He's got a beautiful wife and a wonderful family and a big fancy house. Truth is, he can't afford any of it. He's falling apart as a human. He's not ready for a third child. And his business, like his career, is sort of at a standstill. It's not going anywhere. He's grasping at straws, and he doesn't actually want to be a sports journalist. He wished that he was an athlete. So if you, and that's just one of the characters. And when you peel back the layers of all the different characters, Agatha, you see her backstory and what's what's the cocktail that's created for human you see in front of them, and them making the choices that they're making, to create that suspense. It's a fun one.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mention it. I've dealt with my career also in sports, and there's a lot of times you find that some of the top sports broadcasters in the business are tortured because they feel as if they could be as good in a specific sport and could actually have been a professional golfer or a professional soccer player, or cricket or whatever. They fancy that because they're there and they get the inside. They're allowed to go behind the ropes. They get to see things that the average person wouldn't see. So there is a lot of, ironically, to your point, there is a lot of truth in the fact that many, you would think that is the greatest job in the world if you're a sports fan. Well, it might be, but then again, It could be also a torturous one.
Yeah. I guess it's the same with, anything.
Sure.
If you're a teacher or if you're doing it,
Right. You can always find something. But, part of the beauty of this show is that it really gives people a chance to see Sydney. And Sydney, in some regards, plays a pretty good, it's almost like a fifth or sixth character in the show.
Yeah, there's some hot spots in it. But I love the way that Roger shot it. He's been in the game for a long time. When I stepped on set and went and had a look at one of his frames, you can see he's got a beautiful eye. He doesn't blow things out. The lighting and the way the picture is a character. It's like an insight into the moodiness of all these characters that are moving in this space on this beautiful backdrop of Sydney. But some of the splendors, some of the locations we got to shoot at underneath, the Harbour Bridge, and on a pristine day, pinch yourself moments when you're in locations like that. But yeah, he captures it well. So it was a treat to see him do this thing. I've never worked with him before.
Well, given the fact that you've never worked with Laura or Jessica before, you certainly wouldn't know it, my friend. It seemed like that entire cast came together really well.
It was a good bunch of people, but that comes from up the top. People like Helen Dowton. She runs a pretty smooth operation. I have a lot of respect for her and the way that she sort of pulled strings and orchestrated that group of people that were on the floor. Very collaborative. Everyone knows what they're doing. To Josephine Ford, who did the production design. Dad Lancer doing the hair and makeup, and across the board, it was a great bunch.
One of the great things, Michael, from our standpoint here in the U.S. is that because of streaming service like Sundance Now and others, we get to see almost in real time shows from the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. And I have to say that some of my favorite shows, frankly, are Australian programming. I think that the level of television being done in Australia is on par with anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world.
Oh, that's a great thing to hear.
I mean, we've been able to see so many wonderful programs out of there that's that. And from an actor standpoint, I would think it's really good that you now know that your work is not only being appreciated and consumed in Australia, but throughout the world in a reasonably short period of time.
Yeah, I find that kind of scary. It's the bit. It's daunting. It's daunting, and it's one of those things that you're like, but isn't it amazing? Like, yeah, right. It's not lost on me. Because for a while we sort of in Oz we make great content, but like right. I said, we just weren't on that world stage, and it was hard to get the money to pour into the projects. Right. To lift it to that next level, just getting enough bums on seats to see the content. Sure. This just opens up a whole new world. The streaming platform, amazing, and the fact that right now, Australia and New Zealand, some of the spots where we can continue storytelling in this current climate. So it's only going to benefit further in terms of the arts and in terms of us getting stories told,
Well, I'm a big fan of Australia and of all the work they do and the secrets she keeps. Michael, how can we follow you on social media? Because I'm sure a lot of people want to reach out and follow what you're doing on social media and what's coming up next.
Well, social media, it's my name. That's an easy one.
There you go.
And to be honest, I don't spend enough time on there. Like it's not something that's at the forefront of my thoughts.
Wise man,
I'm always
you are,
kind of tucking. Some would say, some would beg to differ. But no, at the moment, we're close to finishing off an Apple show in Los Angeles. It's called For All Mankind. Mm-hmm. And then, we'll see what happens from there. Like you said, it'd be nice to go back and play in Australia again, or New Zealand. I never actually know what the next move is going to be, and then things start to arrive on your table, and you start to go through them. And at this point in my career, I've been very fortunate that, some of my work's starting to be seen. So, it's a new level as opposed to working just for the opportunity of working, and then sort of slowly shifting into that stage where you have, you're fortunate to have options, and then you can start making choices.
Well,
but it's a very new thing for me,
Yeah. But that's a good thing. And
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Always the secret that she keeps going to be on Sundance Now, starting on Thursday. And Michael, it's been a pleasure, my friend. All the best to you.
Thanks, Jim.
Special thanks to our guest, Michael Dorman, who stars in the Sundance original. And that, of course, is the Australian psycho thriller, The Secrets That She Keeps. It drops on Thursday on Sundance Now. All the information is in the show box below. Special thanks again to Michael for joining us. We'll be back with more of Stream On right after this from Ford in the 2021 Ford Bronco.
There's still some wild out there. Those grayed out sections on maps that map makers haven't gotten to yet. Places where cell service and calendar reminders don't exist. But you have to get out there and look for it. And to look for it, you need something that's just as wild as the wild. You need something that can look adventure in the eye and give it a firm handshake. Something built with the toughness of an F-Series and the spirit of a Mustang. Something that's not happy until it takes you through whatever creek or snow or mud or mountain trail or dune or logging road or landmark with death in its name. You need a Bronco. Built as wild as what you're looking for.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, if you're not one of the over 50,000 people who have taken the time to subscribe to our podcast. First of all, shame on you. Second of all, we make it simple. It is free. That's right. You can find us at the Apple Podcast Store. Same thing goes for those of you who are Google fans. You can find us at the Google Podcast Store. You can find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, as well as TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and, of course, on YouTube. Now, if for some reason you have an existent device, okay, like Alexa or Google or one of the Apple products, the answer is to Siri. All you have to do is say, "Hey, Alexa, please play the latest edition of Stream On with Jim Williams." And guess what? She'll do it for you, as will the folks at Google or Siri on Apple. Okay? Now, for some reason you still can't find us, not a problem. Pull out the old Google machine, type in Stream On with Jim Williams, hit the favorite button or subscribe button. You'll get a brand new edition of the podcast sent directly to your phone, your tablet, or to both. Okay? So we cannot make it any easier than that. All right. So, okay, cool. All right. Well, coming up, we have quite a bit of fun stuff. We have some stuff from, of course, our friends at BritBox, which is BBC and ITV. We'll have some Acorn stuff coming your way. We have some more things coming from Showtime and CBS, as well as NBC Peacock, and a number of really fun stuff coming down your way. So, by all means, hang with us here as we all fight through this pandemic. Stay safe, wear your masks. And once again, quick thanks to, of course, Michael Dorman, who joined us today talking about The Secrets That She Keeps. That's The Secrets That She Keeps, an Australian psycho thriller dropping on Thursday on Sundance Now. Be sure to check it out. All the information in the show box below. Special thanks, of course, for promotional consideration. And that's Sling TV. Sling TV is the official live TV streaming service for Stream On. You can find all the information on becoming a slinger with the rest of us right in the show box below. Okay, everybody, be safe out there. And until next time, from all of us here at Stream On, I'm Jim Williams, wishing you a very safe and very happy weekend.